How many times now? How many? How many times have we heard that Hillary Clinton is not running? How many times has she alluded to the fact that she isn't running, but never definitively said that she will not accept the nomination and not seek it? She hasn't. Yet for some reason, we keep getting these articles. Once again, from the New York Times, March 4th, 2019. Hillary Clinton says she is not running for president in 2020. No, let's be clear. Hillary Clinton said she's not running. That doesn't mean she's not going to run. It means she's not running now. And apparently, somebody issued a follow-up statement which leaves the door open. I have another story here from the Daily Wire. Hang on. Hillary did not close the door on running in 2020. Back and forth, up and down. I think Hillary Clinton is going to run. I think what they're doing is they're teasing it over and over again in the media to prep people for the announcement. And I think what we're going to see moving closer to 2020, we're going to see a breakdown of certain Democratic primary politicians. We're going to see some contentious media debate. Then we're going to start seeing media companies say things like, this isn't working, we need Hillary Clinton. Then you're going to see a bunch of polls pop up saying Hillary Clinton is leading the polls even though she's not running. And then she's going to come out and say, I wasn't going to run. But so many people have called on me saying they needed me to stand up that I've decided the will of the people. That's my prediction. I'm not going to put it at 99%. Maybe it's only 51% chance of happening. But I say again, how many grains of sand make a heap? How many coincidences until you've won the lottery? If they're going to keep running these stories, she's not running. She might run back and forth over and over again. So let's see what they say. Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State and First Lady who lost the White House to Donald J. Trump in 2016, said officially on Monday what has been unofficially clear for months. She is not running for president again in 2020. Well, hold on. She said, I'm not running, Mrs. Clinton told the New York City television station News 12, but I'm going to keep on working and speaking and standing up for what I believe. I was talking to my dad, and the first thing he says is, we're talking about the Democratic primaries, and he goes, oh, Clinton's running. And I laughed, and I was like, well, what makes you think Clinton's going to run? And he goes, she was at the Selma speech. Why would she be there if she wasn't going to run? Well, maybe she wants to maintain her influence so she can push for other politicians when they win the nomination. He's like, she's running. She's running. And so let's break this down. Let's be clear. I'm not running. This is a factual statement. As of right now, Hillary Clinton is not running for president. What could she have said? If she wanted to definitively close the door, I will not seek the nomination, the office, nor will I accept the nomination if elected. That's more of a definitive statement. No. Currently, she's not running. She didn't say she will never run, and apparently someone clarified this. So let's see where they go with this. Ahead of the 2020 election, she has been holding private meetings with many of the current and potential presidential candidates, including Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, as they sought counsel from her even before she formally ruled out another run. Really interesting. Mrs. Clinton, 71, is still younger than some Democratic candidates who are either running, such as Bernie Sanders, or considering runs, Biden, and the former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. But many in the credit field of more than a dozen candidates are already pushing to install a younger generation of leadership for the party. In the television interview, Mrs. Clinton signaled she planned to remain a presence on the political scene. I want to be sure that people understand I'm going to keep speaking out, she said. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Yep. But she laughed off the idea of running for any other political office, such as New York governor, mayor. Oh, I don't think so, she said. She didn't say, I'm not going to run. She said, I'm not running. Yes, right now she's not running. And what does the Daily Wire have to say about this? Now, I will point out, there was a poll done by USA Today. I've talked about it numerous times. Majority of Democrats are telling Hillary Clinton, do not run. But look at what happened in 2016. We know what Clinton did with Bernie, and we know that CNN put in a bunch of people at this town hall with Bernie and didn't disclose they worked for lobbying firms and for the Democratic Party. I think it's pretty damn clear. We're seeing all over again that they're going to steal it from Bernie. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go to Biden or Harris. My bet was Harris. Okay, I'm betting on Kamala Harris getting the nomination. But I laid out my prediction. I think something's going to happen. Hillary Clinton's going to be like, I will step up to the challenge because the people have demanded it. And then once again, she's going to run and she might win. Now, a lot of Democrats think she can't, but keep in mind, this is really important. Trump won some states by very, very thin margins, some winner-take-all states. So while I think Trump may still have won, even if he lost one or two of these states, it's been a long time since I've gone over the electoral numbers, it's possible that, look, the Democrats cheated against Bernie. why wouldn't they cheat to a greater degree? If Hillary Clinton wants to be president, and she does, and she's not backing down or going away, I think there's a real possibility. Now, I do want to point out, to be fair, it's kind of absurd that we constantly hear her saying, no, I'm not running, or I'm not going to run, or I don't want to run, and there's still people saying, oh, she's going to run, she's going to run. So I think it's fair to point out there is a lot of evidence stacking up that she's saying she's not running. But it's important to point out she has never made a definitive statement. So let's look at what Daily Wire says. There's only one way to say you're not running for president. I will not accept if nominated and will not serve if elected. Boom, done and done. That's what Union Army General Tecumseh Sherman said in 1884. Lyndon Johnson used similar language when he announced in 1968 he wouldn't run for re-election. I shall not seek and I will not accept the nomination of my party for another term as your president. In 2006, Vice President Dick Cheney quoted Sherman exactly as he dispelled notions that he'd run in 2008. And former Rep. Mo Udall made no bones about whether he'd run for president in 1984 with a bit of added hyperbole. If nominated, I shall run to Mexico. If elected, I shall fight extradition. That's great. That is how you announce you're not running for president. But Clinton didn't say that, not by a long shot. Asked by a reporter at News 12 Long Island what her 2020 intentions are, she said this: I'm not running, but I'm going to keep on working and speaking and standing up for what I believe. The Clintons are great at this kind of non-denial denial. They then go on to bring up Bill Clinton making the most insane and absurd statement. I remember this when I was little. He said, it depends upon what the meaning of the word is. If is means is and never has been, that is not. That is one thing. If it means there is none, that was a completely true statement. What? I don't even know what that means. But by then, of course, Clinton was no longer having sex of any kind in any manner with Lewinsky. So Hillary's answer can certainly raise questions. I'm not running can mean, at least to the Clintons, that she's not currently running for president. And it's true. She's not. But here's where it gets good. While the story was everywhere and always definitive, the whole tale took another turn a few hours later. Spoke to someone close with Clinton in contact with her today. They say she wasn't trying to be emphatic and closed the door on running when she spoke to a local reporter, and that she was surprised by how definitively it played. This is from Maggie Haberman. The person also says she's extremely unlikely to run, but that she remains bothered that she's expected to close the door on it when, say, John Kerry isn't. She has told her team she is waiting at least to see the Mueller report. Oh my God. This is a statement from Maggie Haberman of the New York Times that Hillary Clinton is waiting to see the Mueller report before she definitively closes the door, which means she might actually run depending on what happens with Mueller. Here's my extended prediction. The Mueller report is expected to be anticlimactic. I have a feeling then Clinton will step up and say, we know what Trump did. We know who he works for, and Mueller was unable to get the job done. Now more than ever, I need to stand up and yada, yada, yada. Clinton recently said something about our democracy is facing, unprecedented challenges. I'm willing to bet, because the narrative has been maintained among the resistance, that even if Mueller doesn't come out with any damning evidence, we know it's true. They're saying things like, oh, outside of the Mueller report, we already know Trump did it. So after Mueller comes out and says it's not true, I'd be willing to bet, I don't want to guarantee anything, I'd be willing to bet all these news organizations and pundits are going to be like, this is ridiculous, Mueller is working for Trump, oh my God, our company is bought and paid for, and then Hillary Clinton is going to stand up and say, you need me now more than ever. And all of these Hillary people are going to be like, ooh, they're going to hoot and holler. But I think it would be important to try and look at the context of Maggie Haberman's tweets beyond just what the Daily Wire says if we're going to try and make our predictions. Now look, I made my predictions. But let's jump over to Twitter. So after this, someone responded. This is Trump must resign. This goes to straight to delusion. She wrote an entire book kidding herself that the states she lost were because of Comey, Bernie, and Russia. Actually, it was because from day one of her candidacy, people were not going to get up from their couches to vote for her. People I know in California only did because it started to look bad in the Midwest. Biden, Clinton, and McAuliffe are all big donor neolibs that need to stay out of our politics. I need a drink, oh no. Another person responded, can you go ask someone why Ivanka and Jared are pulling down government paychecks to perform their grift? This person said, well, she's a woman, Once we're beyond childbearing of age, we are expected to leave the stage and go knit, as they say. We are not to hang around sharing our wisdom and years of experience. That's for crusty old curmudgeons. You do have the no, 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 and no. Maggie, just stop. Just tell her no. Oh, God, make this stop. That's the best response yet. This person said, people think John Kerry should run seriously. Who thinks that? Joe Biden is polling at the top. Bernie Sanders is number 2. I actually think Bernie Sanders may have surpassed Joe Biden. But I gotta say, there are these people like Maggie Haberman they constantly float this narrative that Hillary Clinton is coming. And then, look, here we go, another response. Hillary made it further than Bernie, yet he was the one expected to run again, and she to step away, never followed that logic. This is where we're going. Here we go. If Mueller report shows collusion, why shouldn't she consider it? Illegitimate election cost her the chance to be America's first female president. I'd think about giving it another go. It's happening. Okay, so I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. Will it happen? I think it's hilarious. The narrative won't die, but we'll see what happens. So we'll end it there. Stick around. I've got more videos coming up in a few minutes. I will see you then.